Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. This morning, I was reading, and there seemed to be a theme in my readings. And let's see what God has to say to me as I talk to you. In Psalm 10, verse 13, it says, "Why does the wicked man revile God or despise God? Why does he say to himself, he won't call me to account?" Isn't that really how we live our lives? It's frustrating that we, in the moment of our life, we deal with the things that are going on right in front of us, and we say, I'm going to do it this way, without considering God's path, God's plan, His purpose. Or we're in the midst of doing the thing that we know we're not supposed to, but there's never been any consequences in the past, so it really doesn't matter to God. Those are our justifications in our minds. But the truth of the matter is, that's not how it works. He does see. In our Proverbs chapter 12 today, if you're following along with the reading plan that I assigned at the beginning of the year, you'd be reading Proverbs chapter 12 today. In verse 7, it says, "The wicked are overthrown and perish, but the house of the righteous will stand." God talks about these kinds of things all the time throughout Scripture. How you and I always look for our out. And how God reminds us constantly, especially through the Psalms, that God sees. God sees the things we do. And it should scare us or have an impact in us to cause us to want to do the right thing. It also always consistently through the Psalms gives us encouragement. In the very next verse, "But you, God, see the trouble of the difficult. You consider their grief and make it in hand. You take it in hand. The victims commit themselves to you. You are the helper of the fatherless." And that's in Psalm 10:14. God sees the trouble of the afflicted and consider their grief and take it in hand. See, there's a difference between afflicted and choice. Afflicted means our past causes us to act in certain ways. We truly want to be free from it, and we're working at it hard. We're not perfect at it, but we're working at it hard. And God sees that. He sees the afflicted, and He takes it in hand. We hand it to Him, and we say, we want you to cover this. But then there are the days where we just say, God doesn't see anyway. There has never been any real consequences. I mean, yeah, life sucks, but life sucks all the time anyway. So it doesn't, I look at my life, and I see suck everywhere. You do too, if you're honest with yourself. You also see all the amazing thing God has done, if you're honest. But when you're in that mindset, you're not looking for the amazing stuff. You're just looking at the suck. And you're saying, life sucked when I was following God, and life sucked when I didn't follow God, so it doesn't matter. God doesn't do anything about it. He does. When you make that choice, you will reap the consequences. I'm not saying eternal, but you will reap consequences. A little over 4 years ago, I had throat cancer. As a result of consequences from actions I had in my lifetime. I gained what I sowed. God brought me through it, and I'm grateful, and I would never ask God to never, I don't want to do it again. Let me be very clear. I don't want to do it again. It sucked. It was a miserable experience. But I learned so much through that because God took it in hand and loved me through it. There are consequences to our actions. And we have to be aware of those. We have to do what we need to do to continue to move forward. A little rough this morning, but we need to be aware that God is watching. And that should give us pause. At every moment, every word that comes out of our mouth, every word we type on the page, on Facebook or wherever, everything we do needs to be looked at under that lens. And not put into place because of fear, but put in place because when we do recognize him and his authority, and we recognize and we struggle and we work hard at following him, he takes the struggle in hand. But he needs us to do our part. Where are we at today? It's a good question. Go read Proverbs 12 today. It's your reading assignment. I love y'all. I truly do. I wish you a great and blessed day. God bless.